west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been the proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm doing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No matter.
Whoop, whoop. We gon' change the world, we won't let it change us. Even when they switch sides and they wanna change up. Fucking with my brother, then your life in danger. Got no fear like I got one in the chamber. Since day one, we been about it, nigga. I've been going hard since the day that I found it. It's 144 to the day the Lord counted. I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it now. Since day one, we been about it, nigga. I've been going hard since the day that I found it. It's 144 to the day the Lord counted. I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it. They want a fame, they want a clout. That's why they doubt. I got them black, I want a class. And I shut my mouth. This was way before polite, before I came to campsites. I came broken and contrite. I just wanted to live right, clean my soul and give my life. Had to give up all my vice. I got a fog out my head. I was raised from the dead. I put down that weed and I cut off my dreads. For before I could lead, I had to learn to be led. Now I'm a bad motherfucker. Walk around and I straight flex on suckers. No one specific, I'm talking to all of you busters. Straight from the gutter, me and my brother, we the long suffered. Now, running it like a conductor. Hebrew Academy, I'm the instructor. 14 written all on my cover. Men of war like we hopped at a Hummer. Look like you wanted my trooper could cut you. There is one camp, there is not another. One West, UPK. One West, UPK. One West, one West, one West, UPK. One what? UPK. One what? UPK. One what? One what? One what? UPK. Me and all of my Oyes, hold it, shit down, right here, all day. Shalom, wagwan, sa, passe, is we, damn niggas, yatu, sabe, hey. We gon' change the world, we won't let it change us. Even when they switch sides and they wanna change up. Fucking with my brother, then your life in danger. Got no fear like I got one in the chamber. Since day one, we been about it, nigga. I've been going hard since the day that I found it. It's 144 to the day the Lord counted. I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it now. Since day one, we been about it, nigga. I've been going hard since the day that I found it. It's 144 to the day the Lord counted. I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. You in live with Priest and Captain NATAZACH and Shah. the Israelite School of UPK, Biblical Scripture Breakdown class. You understand? Y'all by Shemel Shah Brakathum. Yahweh Shemal Athan by Shemel Shah to the sisters. All right. We in the Scripture Breakdown class. We're continuing on. A lot to unpack. Talking about correcting the culture. Correcting the culture. There's so many traps and mistakes and pitfalls and things that is ingrained and built into Black, Latino, and Native American culture that our people have fallen into that is everywhere around us. It is everywhere around us to the point that it has become our culture. And that's why it must be corrected. We're going to get into it here first. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead and type them into the messenger. All right. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. We want to talk about some cultural things. Who knows what we talked about the last few classes? Who remembers what we went into? Who recalls anything? We got some problems with the culture. It's going real busy, Princess. The water. I appreciate your check, sister. It's going extremely busy. Most High in crisis. The water. The water. All right. All right. Got my left. Got my right. Yahweh Shem Shelburger Thumb. We correcting the culture part 3. Everybody like, share, subscribe to Water for y'all joining us tonight. All right. So much mess going on with our culture. We're going to get back where we left off. Let's see if anybody remembers before I pull to the first scripture. Does anybody remember where we left off? I know it's been a whole week. Might not recall. No sweat. We went over God's laws, on his dietary laws. And we culturally don't know that we have rules on what we can and cannot eat. We got rules on what we can and cannot eat. The Lord gave us a dietary law in Leviticus, the 11th chapter. We went over the different types of fish that we can eat, that are lawful to eat. We can't eat swordfish and shark and squid and mahi and tuna and catfish and swai and kingfish. For my Benjamite brothers and sisters, we can't eat that kingfish or mackerel. See that mackerel growing in the store? God gave us rules. We cannot eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, oysters, crawfish, crabs. We are not allowed to eat those things. A snake, anything that has paws, a dog, rat, a lizard. You understand? Spiders. We cannot eat those things. You understand? We can eat lamb. We can eat goat. We can eat sheep. We can eat chicken and turkey and quail and hens and Cornish hens. We cannot eat an eagle. We can't eat an owl or a vulture. You understand? Or a crow or a raven or mockingbird, a peacock, the cacao or the cuckoo. We can't eat any of those. You understand? Fish we can eat. Trout and salmon and bass. You understand? We can eat snapper and perch and cod and rockfish and croaker, sunfish and crappie and bluegill. You understand? Those are the most popular lawful fish to eat and the most lawful ones that you can catch out of the rivers. Whiting is another one. So the Lord wants us to know we have a diet law. We have rules about how we live life. So many times you'll hear from our brothers and sisters, well, life doesn't have any manuals. There's no rules to parenthood. There's no rules to life. That's a damn lie. The Lord gave us very specific rules. So many rules. You understand? Not only did he give us rules, he also gave us the consequence to breaking those rules and the benefits to keeping those rules. All of that is built into our culture. That is why we must correct the culture. The culture to the world is known as our culture. because we are the most popular trending people. Any dance, anything that's popular, God called us in Matthew 5 and 13. Christ said, you are the salt of the earth. That's why we did a series, ISUPK, Virginia, No Cows, Richmond, with the salt of the earth. All the inventions and things that we make as people, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, that the world enjoys, they now sell and mass produce everywhere, that we get no credit for and get none of the wealth and benefit. Just like the Lord promised us that we would go down very low and a stranger would come amongst us very high. Right now in El Salvador, there's an evil, cruel, corrupt man that's the president of El Salvador. His name is Nayib Bukele. El Salvador, our brother tribe of Zebulon in there. Well, Donald Trump exported the tribe Asher into prisons in El Salvador. So now they got down there and Zebulon there. And this gulag prison that this heathen has created. He rose up to power over our people because and our brothers are cursed for being Christians and Catholics in El Salvador. So he creates a prison that he basically throws in there anyone that he does not like. He's told everyone that is a bus driver, you are supposed to give free bus rides because I'm the king of the country and this is what I said. The brothers driving the buses try to get king's but the lines that are created from everyone trying to get a free bus ride. So as a result, they said, as the bus drivers, we can't give everyone free rides. It's damaging our ability to transfer. So President of Salvador decides, because these people dare to disobey me, I'm going to throw them all in prison and have them arrested. Like, this is the level of cruelty that the heathens have that rule over us. This is why God called them brute beast. They don't have a conscience the way that you and I would have a conscience over another people. You understand? And this is why the Lord told us to not take the gods or the customs which contain the spirit of the other nations of people. In Mexico, there's a heathen, a Jewish woman that rules here in America. Well, they grow, they literally grow from the ground in Mexico. Not from the ground, but they grow in Mexico. And in all of Mexico, out of all the Mexicans that are there in Mexico, a white Jewish woman becomes the president of Mexico. If you go to this country, an Arab rules all the Arab countries. If you go to Europe, a white man rules all the European countries. If you go to Africa, there's an African in charge of every African. You understand? If you're Asia, there's an Asian in charge of every Asian country. But if you go to where blacks, Latinos are, there's an Arab in charge, there's an East Indian in charge. If you the East Indians control all the wealth, they control all the wealth in Trinidad. Depending on where you go, if you go to America, Donald Trump rules over all the 12 tribes. If you go to Mexico, a white Jewish woman rules over the tribe of Issachar. You understand? So these curses, we must understand correct culturally that genuinely all people are the same. We all bleed red. Every man put his pants legs on one leg at a time. We all gotta, urinate and eat and defecate and get hungry and love our families. God did not say that. God didn't say that. This is what God said. To be clear, he said in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, he said, for you, Not all people are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Holy means special. Everyone is not special. You understand? All people are not special to God. God didn't make all people equal. That is a lie the Christian church teach that must culturally be corrected. God didn't want all people together. God didn't say all people were equal. Those are lies. The Christian church taught us these lies. And as a result of us learning these lies, it has destroyed the very soul and fiber of who we once were as a people when we were separate. Of course, we had our own issues and our own problems. That's why God gave us commandments on how to deal with one another. You understand? That's why he gave us rules about how to deal with one another. If your brother or your sister offends you, how to deal with your land and your property, your wealth, your resources. He gave us these rules and instructions. You understand? So that at every area of our lives, we would not be guessing what it is that we are supposed to do. Am I a boy? Am I a girl? You understand? What is marriage? Is marriage between me and this dog? Is it between a man and another man? Can a woman pretend to be a man? What's the rules? Who's in charge? How's things supposed to function? We just figure it out as we go. The Lord did not give us the spirit of confusion. He didn't give us the spirit of fear either. He gave us instructions, hundreds of instructions of what to do at all times, the outcome at the end, what to expect in the middle, how to endure the struggle and the hardship when you're facing it, what to do, what to look for. He gave us such thorough explanation that is such a cruel, evil thing that any other people is pushing their religion on these 12 tribes. In our mind, it may seem like they're being kind, they're humanitarians, they just love all people genuinely because they're nice or they'll smile or they'll talk to you or you'll have a warm feeling after you have an interaction with them. Your emotions don't determine what's right or wrong. That's why we get in so much trouble as it is. We live in our lives on emotions. God didn't give us our emotions to base our lives on. He gave us his word to base our lives on and guaranteed that his word would never be void. That's why it's important we must learn it, man. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. The Lord said, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God." We are the people that belong to the God of this Bible. Culturally, that must be corrected in order to stop young brothers from killing each other, from unaliving each other, from fighting all at the schools, shooting all at the parties everywhere, sisters from fighting each other and dissing each other and aborting their babies, and our families falling apart. In order for these things to get repaired, we must first learn that we are the only people that belong to the God of the Bible. The Lord thy God. The God in this Bible is only for our people. The Lord thy God, or the Most High thy power. That's why we translate this in our language from Allahayim, the power. That's why the Arabs think God's name is Allah, because one, the Bible doesn't belong to them. Two, it's a word that's in our language that they later tried to make a religion, being an offshoot of the Roman Catholic Church, because that's where Islam comes from. You understand? Child abuse and all. That's where Islam comes from. Nothing to do with the Bible, just like Christianity. You understand? Our power, meaning the God in this Bible is to make us strong, not all people strong. That must be corrected because Christians believe that God in the Bible and their belief of God in Jesus is based around everyone being equal and everyone getting nice, wonderful, sweet, fair treatment. That's a lie. The God of this Bible is to protect your simple Black, Latino, and Native American behind from being exploited by the people that God called beast of the field. You don't look at them like beast of the field because they smile to you, because they say hello and good morning, because they give you a hug when you go to school. because they don't curse you out or burn your town or your village down when you see them. That's because their forefathers have already burned down your villages. They've already stolen your land. They've already gotten all the benefits from you losing your identity and your culture after their forefathers got rich, putting you and your people into slavery. The God of this Bible is to empower us over all the other people. The same way that Islam is to empower the Arabs over the other races of people. And Christianity is to empower white people over the other races of people. And the East Indians' belief is to power them over the other races of people. Purpose for God. Bible, God tells us that other people own gods, and they base their gods around their culture, their religion. We must understand these things. It's a very basic thing, but it is the most confusing thing to teach black people who want so badly to be an Arab, even though the Arabs are rich and respected in America and they get pulled out of their cars at traffic stops and unalived. Want so badly to be an oppressor, when the oppressor uses you to become the president, and then they remove all of your Black, Latino, and Native American accomplishments out of the military and fire all of your military commanders that are Black and just throw you away like old draws. Like, you must understand that must be corrected in our culture. The Most High is our God. Chosen means is past tense, meaning the decision is already made. He chose us to be a special people. In order to choose, that means that you had to have options. God had options. That's why he explains it here in the Bible. He explains he had options. All right, hold up. I got a message say we're freezing. All right, what about now? Viewer comments won't show up unless the stream is public. This body, hold up. Getting some saying the connection is breaking up. Wait a minute. All right, what about now? Y'all give me a one if y'all can hear me clear. Sign Christ, Quad, the water assist, the ones coming in. All right. Get some more ones. Let me take a look. Let me check online. Good. It's just choppy at times. All right. It's not that good. Hold up. Oh, ain't that. All right. All right. The ones coming in. Okay. All right. Okay. So we back. We getting the ones. The Most High, our God, chose us to be a special people. He didn't choose everybody. Choose is a decision. You wearing those earrings you wore today, sister, you made a choice. You got 900 pair of earrings. You got 300 pair of shoes, 45 dresses, 38 hats. You chose. You made that decision. You got 40 pair of lipstick. And you chose today that this is what color you're going to paint your face. This is what color shoes you're going to wear with this dress and these pants and this hat and this coat. You made a decision. There's a bunch of stuff in that closet, but you chose today to wear one outfit. Well, God chose out of all the options he had available, he chose one people. And when he chose that one people, he said, these people are a special people to me. I don't give a damn who else think they're special or not. these are my special people unto myself, meaning you don't get these people. The Arabs don't get to have our people. The East Indians and Africans and the oppressor doesn't get to have our people. That's why when our people obeyed the Lord, he rose up a Gideon or Joshua or Elijah or King David. He rose up people to go and deliver the nation from the hands of the other nations of people, because they would oppress us and be cruel, because it is their nature to do so. Just like an animal in the wild. That's why God is trying to teach us to be aware of the other nations of people. So you don't think that you can join them and then find out at the end that, well, we probably shouldn't be here, but it's too late at this point. You understand? So let me check the feed. Hold up. Correcting the culture. All right, it's looking good. It's looking good. Hold on. No sweat. Okay. All right. All right. We good to go. All right. The Lord said, we are special people unto himself above all the other people that are upon the face of the earth. All right. Bear with me just a moment. I can watch it. So what does that mean about all the other people? What does that mean? Like, how does the Lord, what does that mean? He said, I chose you to be a special people above all the other people that are upon the face of the earth. Think about what's on the earth. All the people on the planet are on the earth. That's correct, sister. God said they are below us. And the Christianity in our people will teach them that that's not right. All people are equal. God loves everybody equally. There's no division in God. That's not my Jesus, not my God. But that's a lie, though, because when you open the Bible, which Christians don't do, it shows God only loves one people. Christians make the case for God loving all people. That's not in the Bible. We're going to show you. That must get corrected. We must learn where to put. Right now, our love goes everywhere. The Palestinians get our love. The East Indians get our love. Mahatma Gandhi gets our love. Nelson Mandela gets our love. The West and South Africans get our love. Sudan and Tibet gets our love. The goddamn Ukrainians get our love. The British and French get our love. The Chinese man and his Chinese New Year get our love. The Irish get our love. The East Indians and they weed get our love. The Arabs get our love when we pretend to be Muslims. Everybody gets blacks and Latinos and Native Americans love. Everybody. You understand? The people God said to love. The only people that God gave us commandments to love are the people that don't get it. Love is a resource just like everything else. You only have a finite amount of resources. Resources are not infinite. That's why countries and nations go to war. You understand? Resources are not an ever ending supply. Love is a resource, just like water, just like labor. Everything else is a resource. And our people must consolidate our love so that we can repair ourselves and protect ourselves. We got to consolidate our love. All right. So now let's get some more. God does not want us the only people that's trying to love everybody. Like, that's a mistake. The Lord doesn't just say, just do this because I said so. The Lord is not like a Christian preacher. Now, you better do what the Lord say because he said so, whether you understand it or not. But the Lord explains why And he's saying, you understand, the Lord gonna break it down. Here is what we don't understand. That's why it's written here in these scriptures. We don't understand this as a people. You understand? So we're gonna open it up and we're gonna show exactly why did the Lord say this. The Lord said this. The Lord did not set his love upon you, meaning he put his love on you. You didn't choose to be God's chosen people the way you chose to be a Christian, the way you chose to be a Muslim, the way you chose to be a gang member, a Rasta, a Buddhist, the way you chose what to wear, your outfit, what to go to school for, what job decisions. God already made this choice for us. There are things in life that you don't get to decide. That's something you're supposed to learn as a child. You don't get to decide your gender. God made you a boy, God made you a woman. He already put skills and tools and things when he created your body that clearly define who you are. And then he gave sets of rules to make sure that no one was ever able to get confused as to who was supposed to do what. He assigned gender roles and sexism, as they call it now. God is all of those things. Our people don't understand this, which is why they are first to hug the unalive of our loved ones. That's correct. They'll run up and hug them. Dylan Roof shot up a church, and the simple pastor invited to come to church next Sunday. I don't care how many people you kill. God still love you. I still love you. Jesus still got a word for you in his heart. Jesus can change your heart. They let him in there. He killed 9 people. And because they don't love those 9 people more than they love that oppressor, they would invite him back to church so that he can kill 9 more people. Because Christianity removes your conscience, your natural survival instinct, that everything God created, he built inside of them a way to survive, and instincts. Christianity teaches you to remove those instincts from you. It teaches you. You got to think about it. The box of cigarettes says, the Surgeon General says for sure this is going to kill you. I do tons of surgeries, and people who take what's in this box, they are dying consistently. That's what it says on the box of the cigarettes. Everybody knows crack cocaine and heroin and all manner of drugs has been killing our people for several generations and several decades. However, no one has stopped taking crack cocaine and heroin. Heroin in a pill, heroin in a syrup to drink as cough syrup. They still shooting up heroin. They smoking heroin. They turning it into ice, into cheese, into dust, black tar, blue magic, cheese heroin. Nobody has stopped getting high because Christianity teaches you to ignore logic and common sense and just keep on doing what everybody else did. Even if everybody died, we would keep doing it. The amount of blacks and Latinos that have died from HIV and AIDS over the last few generations is through the roof. It is absolutely through the roof. You would think after several decades and generations of seeing people who choose alternative lifestyles die in horrible ways, disproportionately by race, according to the World Health Organization, the National Institute of Health, the New England Journal of Medicine, the Boston Journal of Medicine, Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, every school, the World Health or the Center for Disease Control, everyone is saying that if you are Black or Latino, you are disproportionately going to suffer horribly if you choose this alternative lifestyle. That's without any political affiliations, any funding or backing. They've been saying this for decades. Yet and still, who are the people that are used to champion the LGBT? The sassy man trying to be Shanae and Big Mama and Joanna Man and Medea, using our people to push this narrative that it's funny and acceptive and ha ha and we should just, this is Tony, and Tony like to be called sir. They use black people to push that. You understand? Because we are the salt of the earth. That's why God gave us these rules and these warnings to let us know to not take the customs of the others of people. And it does not benefit us. It looked like it benefits somebody. It looked like it. That's why your rappers is willing to go and let Diddy bend them over at the Baby Oil Molly party so they can get a record deal. But in the long run, your rappers end up dead and broke. You understand? All the black actors in Hollywood complaining about why we not making no money. They done went and did the rituals. They done the bending all the super nasty stuff on Weinstein's couch, waking up in the bathtub. You understand? They done it. And now they still, you understand? God said the Lord did not set his more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all the people. We were always the fewest. There's way more Chinese than it is East Indians, Arabs, Africans. We were the last nation to be built. That's what the Bible is saying. The Lord everybody calls us what? What do they call us here? They try to lump the other nations of people together, but what did they call us? How do they categorize us? What do they call us? If you are black or Latino, what are they going to call you? Categorized. Let's see who knows. The Lord said, ye were the fewest in number. You understand? He said, you were the fewest. They're going to call you a what? They're going to call you a minority. God said he chose you because you were the fewest in number, and you called the minority. They call you a minority. And you understand? So let's get some more on there. Let's move on. So what else do we have? Well, he didn't want us. There you go, sis, minority. The minority. Let's get some more. Let's go Leviticus right quick. Right? Let's get this here. It's like a collection moving pretty slow. All right. We're going to go now to Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. The Lord reiterated the things he said so many times over and over again. Leviticus chapter 20 and 26. God said, and ye shall be holy unto me. Holy means separate. For I, the Most High, am holy. God is saying he's holy. He's not available for all people. Everybody can't come be a part, can't come and join him. Everybody can go and be a Muslim. They can go to Mecca. They can say the Muslim prayers. They can bow down, wear the Muslim bathrobes and the sheets. They in there. Everybody can be a Christian. You can go in that church, say that prayer, cough up some money, get up to that altar and cry, clap your hands, wave that fan, sing the song. You in there. Everybody can be you understand? Everybody can be a roster. They give you some weed. It ain't about race. You all one blood, brethren. You be sitting there getting high, smoking weed with the oppressor. He show up, want to turn your neighborhood into a goddamn Starbucks and condos, and all you see is somebody that want to get high like you. This is my brother, trying to have brotherhood with the Ethiopians. You smoking weed, the Ethiopians show up, smile with you, grow dreadlocks, and you say, see this my brother, this my cousin. We one blood. Africa, Africa. We are go to Ethiopia. You gonna go to Ethiopia, them Ethiopians gonna make you live in the woods like a goddamn dog. You're going to live in the woods like a bear or a raccoon or a possum. They're not going to want you to be part of their society the way your simple behind going to welcome them to be a part of your society. Nobody trying to accept you to be one of them. That's foolish. You understand? You're the only people that don't understand that. That must be culturally corrected. Just because you can hold hands and sing a song together, what you don't understand is the dances that you're going to do, they're going to take and copyright those dances. And then after a few decades, you're going to say, hey, I invented the shoulder move and the shimmy. He getting all this money. They're going to say, I got the copyright. Tell me that doesn't happen. Tell me Muddy Waters invented rock and roll and everybody accredit Elvis Presley to being the god of rock and roll. Tell me that didn't happen. Tell me how black soldiers taught Koreans how to fry chicken in the Korean War, and now today they call it Korean fried chicken instead of Soul Brother fried chicken. Tell me how. Everybody exploits you because you willing to shake hands with everybody. You willing to get in the bed with anybody. You like a cat. You set some milk out front the door. You come wandering around, licking out the bowl. Oh, what's wrong? You don't have a home. Where's your family? Where's your tag? He said, nobody loves me. I don't have a home. Oh, look at him. He's so furry and so soft. Come here, Jamal. Come here, Jorge. Come here, Kiara. Where's your family? You don't have a dad. You don't have a God. You have identity. You know your name. I'm going to give you a new name. We're going to call you Buster. We're going to call you Reggie. We're going to call you Javier. Where's your family? You don't have a culture? Come be a part of our family. Come be a part of our religion. You can be our pet. You can be our mascot. Do your dances. Twirl around. Jump for a treat. That's the way they treat our people. Nobody looking at you as an equal. Can't stand having you around. They can't stand having to give accolades or credit. They can't stand the fact that you're achieving and succeeding and that you having kids and that you actually having things and moving forward in life. They can't stand you. They can't stand your children. They can't stand the fact that your son was faster than them and hit harder than them and can dunk and their son can't and can shoot three-pointers and do crossovers and can slip and bob and weave and knock out 20 in a day. They can't stand it. They can't stand the fact that they hated the black woman. They hated you sisters. They hated your lips. They said they were too big. They hated your behind. They said it was too wide. They hated your breasts. They hated your hair. They hated everything about you. Now all of a sudden, spots in their faces. They can have this. They putting fat in their nose and fat in their lips so they can have more human-looking lips like you. Going and created a fake butt surgery so they can imitate your behind when it blow up. Now we done been so joined to the white man for so long, sisters is going and getting fake behinds like a white woman. This is why God said, I already made you special and put you above all people. Because if you aren't taught this, then you'll go looking for love somewhere else. Just like that cat wandering around the neighborhood. There you go, sister. And tanning your skin. How could I forget? Tanning their skin. They said dark skin was evil. That's why your skin is brown, because you got sin in you. That's what the Latter-day Saints and the Jehovah's Witness teach. They made a whole cartoon about it. And now all of a sudden, I want to get bronze. I want to get a nice even tan, and we're going to go tanning, and we got to put our sunscreen on to get a nice bronze look, a nice golden look. All your bodybuilders and muscle competitions, they don't want to be white then. They want to be as brown as possible. Hulk Hogan is a white man. Hulk Hogan is the brownest white man you'll ever see in your life. He don't never want to look like that white kid he was when he was in high school. He been getting brown and sprayed. Donald Trump is a white man. Donald Trump don't ever want to look like the white man he was born. He want to get a nice orange and spray and suck up color sprayed into him. Why? Because ye are the salt of the earth. That's what God said. Everybody know it but us. Now they want to look just like us. They said your ghetto dancing was terrible. all your ghetto moves and your hip shaking and your twirling and spinning and gyration and all your stepping and kicking up your feet. They said it was evil and satanic. They said jazz was music until people learned it was smooth and mellow and jazz in the park with wine jazz. And we're going out to the park to have a wine tasting. When it was you drinking in the park, they said, we got laws. We don't want you Negroes drinking in the park, getting drunk in the park. Now you pay $100, they'll put 1,000 white people in the park and they'll drink wine until they pass out. They call it a wine tasting. But when you did it in the park, you was a criminal. We got to break it up. They out here getting drunk. Y'all out here having too much fun because they are your enemy. They're supposed to make their people despise you. The same way a good buffalo teaches their buffaloes to hate the lions. The same way a good hyena teaches their hyenas to hate the lions and all the other animals so that they can be strong hyenas. You don't understand real life, and that must be corrected culturally. Otherwise, your son will always put on red and go find other brothers who wear blue so that he can kill them. If you don't teach what God said, Satan has a lesson for you. You understand? The Lord said, and he shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people that ye should be mine. The Lord said, I separated you so that you could not join another nation of people. You understand? James chapter 4 and verse 4. The Lord said, ye adulterers. Adulterer is a man that sleeps with another man's woman. It's also a man that takes on and marries another people. That's an adulterer because God made us to join to him. And an adulteress is a woman that does the same. A woman that whores herself out and has sex with another man that is not her husband, that joins herself to the other people and marries them in their customs and their cultures, like Mother's Day. Mother's Day is one of the fertility goddess holidays. You think anybody give a damn about their mother? You think your granddaughter, your daughter, that's aborting all of your grandbabies by the millions every year, you think they give a damn about their mother? You think their mother gave birth to a little girl and their little girl is pretending to be a man, walking around with a fake rod, having sex with other women? You think they give a damn about their mother? Or your son, perhaps, switching and sashaying on the streets with your fake eyelashes and your pumps and your shoes in all your women's competitions, making sure that none of your daughters or sisters can get the positions on the cheerleading squad because there's some big flexible nigga taking all the positions. You trying to be in the fencing competition and running track, and it's some man with a wig and a push-up bra running 3 times faster than your daughter, and you can't win none of the competitions. Miss Maryland was a man. You understand? The top prettiest woman in Maryland competition was won by a man dressing up in a woman costume, pretending to be you. You think they give a damn about their mother? You think that mother gave birth to a baby boy, so halfway through that baby boy's development, it can decide to grow up and become her? Nobody give a damn about their mother. You think the mothers sitting want all of their sons in the street shooting everybody and breaking into goddamn cars, making her go spend all her money on lawyer fees while they go back and forth to prison all of their life? You think they give a damn about their mother? Since we celebrating Mother's Day, you think anybody care about somebody's mother after you have sex with all these sisters and throw them away and they end up being a single mom? You think anybody give a damn about somebody's mother? Are you kidding me? Be this, be that, hold this, hold that, and all of a sudden everybody love mothers. I love my mama. I like to thank God, I like to thank my mama for believing in me. Here's my new song. B, drop it on the floor. B, bust it open, ho. Bust it open, B. Yeah. Oh, happy Mother's Day, mama. Nobody give a damn about no mamas. Kidding me? You kidding me? Got to believe harassing your mama, looking for you on them drug charges. Are you kidding me? You giving your mama heart attacks and stroke because you want to be a goddamn gangster thugging in the street and she worried about you in prison? Are you kidding me? Nobody give a damn about nobody's mama. You in the streets killing other people's kids. You think you gonna give somebody mama a happy Mother's Day card? And your son's in the street killing everybody, but all of a sudden we care about mamas. Mama feet swelling up, mama back hurting, mama breast hurting, mama getting headaches, the baby sitting on a bladder making a urinate on herself just for you to come out and destroy the goddamn city or kill somebody else's baby. But yeah, I always love my mama. You Christians don't love nobody's mama. You don't love nobody's mama. If you did, you wouldn't be abusing her damn kids. You don't love nobody's mama. Where you standing up for something happened to her children? Where you coming into the ISUPK to make sure that her children get a safe environment after she do not carry a baby and hours labor and have to go all to get better and nerve damage and every care. I mean, was telling pregnant Latina sisters to drink out the goddamn toilet to get some water in ICE detention agencies. You would never say that to the Ukrainians. You would never say that to the Afghans or the Arabs. You would never say that to the Vietnamese after they had a war with America or the Koreans. All of a sudden, everybody damn about blacks, like everybody about somebody's mom. Y'all get the hell out of here with that BS. You understand? Could a woman that married outside her race join the nation, or she's shunned? That's a rough way to go, sister. That's a hard question. Oh, I mean, it's not a hard question. Uh-oh, sis said I'm breaking up. Y'all give me once before I continue. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, Tazara can hear me. All right. Everybody love mothers. Everybody love mothers. You understand? Love being a mother. The whole way you become a mother is a man gets you pregnant. They still trying to get pregnant without a man now. Two women trying to get pregnant, getting a damn sperm donor, talking about we celebrating Mother's Day. Women pretending to be the mother and the father now. You're going to celebrate Mother's Day. This whole culture needs to be corrected, man. God is furious. Just a second. All right, y'all. What about now? I'm cleared now. So to answer your question, could a woman that married outside of her race join the nation? Yes. Yes, she could. She could come into the truth. She definitely could. Those children that she had with that heathen, they cannot come. She cannot bring those children around us. No, they cannot come. They can't. That husband, he cannot come because he is not one of us, and his seed, his children, are not of us either. So they would not be allowed to come. They would not. They would not. But she herself, she could definitely. You understand? But she's going to have to accept and learn that what she did when we did come to the world, or us learning in our past, many of the things he did and what we were taught were wrong. And that's why the culture must be corrected. We've learned a bunch of things that are incorrect. They're not right. They're against what God set up. And God set up something wonderful. But no, she could, her kids could not. It's very simple. All right. So let's see, let's get some more. Where were we? The Lord said he has severed us from other people that we should be his. All right. Let's get some more. Let's go to Matthew, the 18th chapter. Let's get to the hard stuff. All right. Let's get to the hard stuff here. Like the Lord want our culture to be corrected. We're going to correct our culture. Our heritage has to be corrected as a people. Now, this is something that is supposed to be a part of who we are. This is our way of dealing with things. The Lord is a man of war. Exodus 15:3 says the Lord is a man of war. War is conflict. War is not just a sword and a rifle and a knife and everyone meets on the field and just taking each other's lives. War is a lot more than just a one-time, one-day event. Life is about warfare. And the Lord wants us to understand that life is that way, and our belief in God is about warrior warfare. It's not about love and hugs and kisses and songs and naked babies touching fingers with grown men that you understand. It's not about none of that. Naked statues of oppressors and little babies with wings. That's not God. We must unlearn God as mommy. Some short church lady leaving lipstick and makeup all over your collar with very strong, perfume that make you choke half to death when you come to church. Uncomfortable shoes, your back hurting, your knees hurting, your feet hurting, and you figure that's a part of the service of God. That is not what God is. That is not what God is. We must unlearn that. Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3, it says, the Lord, the God of this Bible, is a man, first and foremost, is a man, is written there for a reason. God is a man. Mommy does not represent God. And our culture has taught us, because of the LGBT alternative lifestyle men that run the Christian church, which is an alternative lifestyle religion that tells a man he is wrong for wanting more than one woman. That tells a woman she is equal to a man. That tells a woman that she is not supposed to look up to a man as her Lord, that she's supposed to go straight to God directly. That's against God. The culture must be corrected from Christianity. God did not make equality. There's not equality between the animals. There's not equality amongst the birds. There's not equality amongst the beasts that live on the land. There's not equality in the seas and the ocean. There's not equality between the different races of people. There's not equality between it. Listen, God hasn't favored everything. How many people know God has a favorite everything? If you knew God has a favorite everything, give me a con or a lie. We a lie, sir, a con or one con. Let me know if you knew God has a favorite everything. You understand? Who knew? Type that to me. Who knew that God has a favorite everything? All right. Somebody knew that God has a favorite everything. Who knew? Y'all answer that while we get the next scriptures. The Lord is a man of war, a man. Like the Lord is about being strong and powerful. The service of God. That's right, sister. That's right. Okay. All right. All right. Everybody knew. All right. Most High Christ. I guess y'all be paying attention. All right. Go ahead, y'all. All right, sisters. The Lord has a favorite everything. He has a favorite place, a favorite mountain, a, a favorite person, a race of a favorite fruit. God's a favorite. He's a favorite. God is not no sucker out here liking every goddamn thing. You don't like everything. God is a being. He's not a mythical creature, a naked head floating, touching fingers with a little naked man on earth. That's not God. We got to unlearn that. That is an alternative lifestyle representation of God that our people have ingrained in us, that strips us of our morals and it strips us of the spirit of the Lord. We got to unlearn that. The Lord is a man of war. Serving God is about warfare, not singing warfare, not choir rehearsal warfare, actual, actual warfare, spiritual warfare, economic warfare, all the different types of war they talking about. They in a war with China, a trade war, a this war, an economic war, a housing war, education war. That's why we have a school here. We're not teaching you how to sing and dance and hug and kiss everybody, because that's not how you win or fight a war. You understand? So let's see that. The Lord is a man of war. We're going to go now to First Corinthians chapter 11, just so we can get some more. The culture must be corrected. The culture is completely out of order. Right now, women are running the culture. Mommy is running the culture. Mommy been in charge of the culture for so long, it has become more important than your morals and your character. How much jewelry you have became more important than your morals, your culture, and your character. You understand? Like the Lord want that fixed. 1 Corinthians 11:3. You understand? Paul, everybody lies on Paul in the New Testament. He said, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ. Christ is in charge of every man. This is who we get our instructions from. This is how we learn how to live, through Christ's instructions. That does not mean everyone goes to Christ individually, because Christ set up a hierarchy of disciples while he was alive. The same way that the Lord had Moses set up a hierarchy of officers of tens and thousands and fifties and hundreds, because that's how the nation has always functioned. Christ did not come to do something new that had not already been going on throughout the entire Old Testament. That's why Christ said, if your fathers had listened to the prophets that God sent before, then they would surely listen to me. But I'm going to talk to you in parables, because I'm only saying what God told the prophets to say, and all of you always refuse to listen to the prophets. So I'm going to talk to you in riddles, and I hope don't none of you ever understand what they're saying. That's what Christ really said. He was a man of war. He wasn't about loving and hugging everybody. And when your sons grow up and when your daughters grow up, they are going to look for strength and power and authority. That's why they run to the streets. They see a bunch of yes men heeing and hawing and hemming and shucking and jiving and just taking it upside the head and on the chin. And they're like, I don't want that. I don't want suckers in here gonna let me run all everybody. I want something in the street, something rough. I want some danger. Something that's gonna shoot something up, tear something up, cut something out. Something with some power, with some respect. You understand? And then not knowing what's the proper way to wield power, because we learning how to be weak and just take abuse from all our religions. They go run into some danger, some trouble, and lose their freedom. That's why it's important to get in the UPK, so you can learn what real warfare is, the way that the Lord set it up. You're gonna learn masculinity from men that God appointed, instead of from a whose emotion that's going to carry his emotional desires in your life out. That the shooters is in the street still free because they snitching. Every time they commit a murder, they snitching. They snitching on you committing murders, thinking that you down with them in the street. They're going to get locked up and tell on you and be free and kill 3 more people. That's what really happened. You understand? But we caught up in the glamour of it all. That's why the Lord wants us to be free from the other cultures of the other nations of people. The Lord said, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. There's a man that is in charge of every woman. Every woman is supposed to have a head over her. A woman is not made to be the authority over her own life, making all the decisions. What's she gonna do? Where's she gonna go? That's how they rob and get everybody hemmed up on a bunch of damn student loans. Going to school, getting in millions of dollars of student loan debt, and can't find a career with all this damn degree. That's why they get ready to start garnishing wages for these student loans. Get all these degrees, you understand, and can't get a job with none of these degrees. You understand? No sweat, sis. Shalom. Y'all Shamal Thashim Rashad. Like the Lord does not want us to be gamed up and suckered by everybody. You going to get your car fixed. They charging you double for your oil change, double for your tires. You in a house, they charging you double to get your roof done, double for your gutters, double for your driveway, double for the pipes, double for the basement, double for the sub pump. They see you coming a mile away because the world and society, a woman is not supposed to be by herself. No other respectable culture of people got their woman in the forefront. That's why every time you see a news coverage on the TV, there's some father standing at the press conference. Now, people, you see some woman with her mouth in front of their microphone. Her mama aunt sitting there talking. That brother stabbed somebody in a self-defense case where the other person died. Her mama on the goddamn news, his mama giving a damn press conference. My son is a good boy, and we just want y'all to love us and respect that you ain't supposed to be. You and your emotions cannot be in charge. Sisters don't realize how much damage you do being the one with your mouth open in the forefront all the damn time. That makes everybody not respect all of us. Everybody. You understand? That's why it's important to know the way that the Lord set things up. It said, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. Like as a woman, there's a certain way that you have to know and understand how to deal and interact with a man. That's why we just did that series, Sad Heart, and we reviewed one of the cases because unfortunately, it's culturally acceptable for our sisters, not sisters in here, but in the world, don't know how to deal and interact with a man. They're not used to seeing their mother with a man. They're not used to seeing grandma with a husband, knowing how to interact with a man, how to keep a house with a man, how to be agreeable with a man, how to be pleasant with a man, how not to provoke a man, not to be all up inside and fanging your fingers and yelling and stuff. They don't know how to do that. And they can't keep one. Their kids' father not sticking around. The sneaky links and everybody else that have sex with them is running out the window as soon as the orgasm is over. They gone like Batman, out the window like Spider-Man. Why? Because you should not be the head deciding what decisions you are going to make. It is a disaster, sisters choosing, which is the next point that we getting ready to come to that must be corrected in our culture. It must be corrected. We're going to get to it in just a moment. The head of every woman is the man, not another woman, not yourself. God did not make you to be the head over yourself. And the head of Christ, meaning Christ did not put all this together himself. The head of Christ is the Most High. God wants that hierarchy to be honored and respected. You don't realize that you are not supposed to be trashing the authority that's over you. The Lord set authority of a reason. There's a level of protection that comes with that authority. Problem is, you in the Christian church and you're not in the ISUPK. So you don't understand the purpose or how the authority works. You've been raised in some religion your whole life looking at the failures of these religions in our families, in our communities, because none of it is what the Lord told us we're supposed to do or how we're supposed to live our lives. You understand? So we're going to get some more. All right. Every man praying or prophesying, reading the Bible out on the street or praying to the Most High, having his head, talking about the crown of his head cover, dishonoreth his head. Who is the man's head? Christ. that dishonors Christ. Why? Because the Lord made a man to have power and authority, not to have a covering or a humbling of his head, talking about the crown of his head. But every woman, because a woman is not the same and equal to a man. The Christian church teaches gender equality. In fact, the Christian church teaches that a woman is above a man because America gives a woman all the free education and housing and government grants and assistance by design only if you are Black and Latino. Every other woman is allowed to keep their man. They don't make the white woman get rid of the white man to get government assistance. They didn't do that. They make the Arab, East Indian, the Ukrainian, the Iraqi, and Afghans. They didn't make them get rid of their husbands so that they could get government assistance, social security numbers, welfare, and WIC and TANF, and government assistance and business loans. They don't destroy their families by policy at the expense of giving them aid. They don't do that to them. They only do it to our culturally. This is why our God from there. This is why our God gave us separate instructions from what he gave them, which is nothing. This is why our God said the other nations are beasts, and you must understand how to navigate with them and not treat each other the way they treat each other. Why? It says, but the woman that prayeth, and she prayed to the Most High, which our people do not know how to do outside of the UPK, or prophesieth with her head uncovered, meaning she does not have her head covered up, dishonoreth her head. Why does it want a woman's head to be covered? So that she can be humbled and not think in her mind she is equal to or above as a man. She should not think that. It is specifically to humble her so that she will be and stay in her proper place. Otherwise, she'll be in the street thinking she's a man. She'll be carrying herself like a man. She'll be telling you to call her uncle and daddy and sir like a man. You understand? She'll be trying to say I'm the daddy like Brittany Griner like a man. The demon will tell her go get your breast cut off like a man, so you can look like a man and carry yourself like a man. And before you know, all manner of evil and wickedness and confusion then run rampant everywhere because the authority, the way that the Lord set it up, is out of order. And the Christian church don't put that order properly. It teaches you that Big Mama represent God. So the strongest figure in the whole community is a loudmouth woman. And that's not the way God set things up. That's wrong. That's anti-Christ. That's anti-God. You understand? The Lord didn't make a woman to be that way. Yet and still, we grew accustomed to the overly loud, dominating idea that this is what the woman is supposed to be. You understand? And that's not true. That's not what we were. That's not what we came from. That's not how our societies function. But that's what ended up happening the deeper we got into another people's culture. You understand? So it says, but every woman that that prayer having her head uncovered dishonors her head, which is her man. Your life as a woman is to be an honorable thing, not just to you and what you want to do. That's why they spend so much time. Life ain't about no man. You don't need no man telling you what to do. Don't know me find you. You got to do what you want to do for you, girl. You got to make yourself feel good for you. You got to love yourself, girl. You can't be dealing and worrying about no man and this and that. And you do your own individual. Long as you got you and Jesus, it's no but you. And Jesus instrumental in destroying our families to make sure that you did not have a man, that you didn't have a father, that your father was weakened and his resources were stripped away from him so that it was just you and your mother. the same way the Egyptians wanted it to be. That's why they said kill off the children and throw them in the river. This has been a systematic plan by the heathen since the ancient Egyptian days. This is what we must understand. There's nothing new under the sun. The program has not changed. It's our people and less about it because we busy pretending to be another race of people joining their culture. They haven't changed what they doing. No accepting us. They just for themselves and going on about their business. And the Lord wanted to protect us from this. He said, every man praying upon, all right, where we at? She dishonoreth her head. For if you understand, we're going to skip down. Dishonoreth her head. Verse 7. It says, for a man indeed ought not to, as a matter of fact, I might need to do this too. Hold on. It says, but every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, because to God there is a hierarchy, and you should always keep in mind, even when you are thinking that you are doing something dealing with God, you need to keep in mind that there is an order and there's a head over you. There's someone that is earthly, flesh and blood, that you are accountable to what you do, how you act, what you say, what you carry yourself. You're accountable. And there's a certain behavior that God requires you to do and maintain in order for it to be an honorable thing to your head. You understand? Removing that head, you understand, has absolutely destroyed our people. It's caused so much confusion. It's caused our people to be married to your job. Now that your job get cut, you're realizing, well, I can't retire. Why? Because I've been out here strong as hell on my own for all these years, and there's no backup plan. I'm old now, but I can't stop because ain't no backup plan. I'm by myself. I done fought my man to not be super strong because we strong in women, and I'm a feminist, and I'm bad, and I got my job and degree, and can't nobody tell me what to do. To the left. Girls, we in the world, and now it's time for the empire to collapse, and they consolidating their wealth, and they just go through hacking off the jobs, and they cutting off the assistance. Now it's just you, your strength, and your struggle. God didn't intend for you to be by yourself. He didn't intend for your life to be about destroying your man so that you be in your life. You weren't supposed to be the man with all the power and the resources. You weren't supposed to be. That's the man's position. America has put women in the man's position. Understand? You weren't supposed to marry yourself off and find who you're going to go and start a family with. Daddy is supposed to find and approve or not approve. You understand? That wasn't supposed to be your decision. That's how you end up in men that actually like sex with other men more than they want to be with you. That's what Glorilla Hebrew's wife found out. That's how you end up going to church thinking you finding a godly man. So you come home one day and you find Deacon Jones and Pastor Bennett in the bed together. You weren't supposed to choose. God didn't put something in to make that decision. Does that mean every single sister made a terrible decision? No, it does not. However, the one making the decision never supposed to be with you. You aren't supposed to have the final say. The Lord did not set things up. That's why it's written this way here. So we can understand this to put stuff back in its proper perspective. You understand? So it says, but if it be a shame, hold on one second, where we at? We're going to read verse 5 again. 1 Corinthians 11:5. It says, but every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one, as if she were shaven. It's like if her head was shaved off and her hair was gone. That is also something that you must culturally watch out. A woman is not supposed to want to all her hair off. That's not a good thing. It's in his nature to want hair, that want and have hair as a covering. That's a natural thing to a woman. From the time she's a baby to a little girl, that's a natural thing. It is an unnatural thing for a woman to cut all her hair off. That's not good. If your hair start going away or fall out, you would think that this is a sign that you may not be well, because your hair is not supposed to fall off and cut up. You're not supposed to be bald and unshaved and your head looking like a shaven. Something's wrong. You aren't supposed to be trying to look like a man or a boy with shade or something. You aren't supposed to do that. That's spiritually saying something is wrong. You got to check yourself when you see this. I want to cut all my hair off. You got to think, well, why in the hell do I do that? What is influencing me? What is influencing as a woman to cut all of your hair off? Something got to be with her hair. That's why spiritually, everybody in the world is selling hair to black women, because every woman knows, except a heathen, that I should not be without hair. Now, we shouldn't need to wear somebody else's hair, because the damn influence of the Christian church telling us to worship the white woman and the white man with the damn Virgin Mary in the Roman Catholic Church, that has heavily influenced our people. So you got to be careful as to what is the spirit and what motivation is causing you to make these decisions. You understand? Everybody got to know that. But it says, let's skip down to verse 7. 1 Corinthians 11:7 says, for a man indeed ought not cover his head. A man should not have a covering on his head. That doesn't mean that a man cannot wear a hat ever. It doesn't mean that a woman must always have her head covered like the Muslims and the nuns do, because they're not spiritual. They don't understand the Bible. They don't understand the God of the Bible, because they don't understand slang. They don't understand our spirit as a people, because they don't understand the Lord's spirit. They're not one of us. They're not supposed to, and it's not for them. You understand? It says, for a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High. A man is the image and the glory of the Most High, with power and strength and authority. But in contrast to the man, the woman is the glory of the man. Your job is not to represent God. Your job is to be glorious and represent your man. The first man is your father. The next man is your husband. If you have neither, then you represent the school. You understand? Represent the school where the prophets that are in charge. Then you represent the school, who's in charge of the school. But there's also a man that is the head authority and counsel and filter over your life and your major decisions and things. It was never set up nations because get billions in wealth. Our people is looking for an identity and a place to fit into society, and every other race of people already has their society built together. This is how we fix ours. And it's not going to happen overnight, but this is how it is supposed to be done. And the Lord left us detailed instructions. It gets further. For a man is not of the woman. Man does not come from a woman. The Christian church and feminism and the white man's lying science says that life starts from a woman. And if it wasn't for a woman, you wouldn't be here. And a woman gave you, and I gave you life. That's a lie. All children are alive as seed in a man's testicles from the time he hits puberty until the day he dies. That's where the life comes from. Women expel dead eggs every month during her cycle. You understand? Up until or supposed to be carrying or having children. You understand? A man puts a living seed into a woman, and that living seed fertilizes a dead egg to make a life start. That's how life comes. The Bible clarifies this so that feminism, lies, Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church, the Immaculate Conception, Planned Parenthood, the LGBT, the government, the courts, and everybody else that teaches you to worship a woman in her tail and her box all throughout the all of human existence, so that everyone does not lie to you like the serpent lied to the woman in the Garden of Eden, making you think that you are Mother Earth, Queen, Diva, Boss Lady. You understand? So that a heathen can use you and exploit you in your vanity and get rich and rob you and your people, which is what happens. You understand? That was the purpose that the serpent tricked Eve. Guess what happened after we got evicted from the Garden of Eden? The same thing that happens after our neighborhoods get destroyed. Some developer comes and buys it for the scam since the beginning. That's why the Lord gave us these instructions. It said, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman. A man was not created for a woman, but the woman for the man. You, as a woman, were created for a man. That's the reason you're a woman and not a man. God said this. For this cause, for this reason, ought the woman to have power or a covering, both physically and spiritually, on her head because of the angels, which is the translation. It is because of the powers, because of the authority structure that she is supposed to learn to adhere to. Otherwise, she'll be on the side of the road trying to fight the police officer man, cussing him out and putting the finger in his face like Sandra Bland did, and end up dead a couple of days later. You understand? She'll be yelling and growling and talking disrespect. She don't a man's authority. She learned that ain't nothing different between you and me. You want to go, we could go. You want to argue, we can argue. And then you know it, you understand, the demon lead her into some trouble, and then the demon leave her, and she's back a woman again in a terrible situation. That directed. That's a toxic thing in culture. And it comes because of Christianity. You understand? I'm gonna read it again. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Women today think that a man is supposed to serve them. You go on the internet, this the type of man I want. He got to be 6 feet tall, got 6 figures, got a job, got to accept me. He got to buy toys for we have kids and my other kids. He got to be cool with all my baby daddies and got to just bring me all money. And I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to work. He got to do whatever I want. And even though I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm this, I feel I deserve best of everything, and do what I want. Y'all just get on my level. Just vanity and arrogance and completely against spirit of God. God is against that spirit. That's why sisters going missing all the damn time. The Lord get angry and hurt people. You understand? No hurt if the Lord don't want nobody hurt. The Lord said, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver from my hand. Shall there be any evil in a city and the Lord have not done it? That's what God said in the Bible. The culture must learn God is sending evil our ways for disobeying him. Because of the evil, it hurts. People lose their lives. You understand? And that's what's constantly happening amongst our people. All right. So the Lord clarifies that. And that's what's important. All right. Nevertheless, verse 11, neither is the man without the woman. The black man, Latino, Native American man does not exist without the woman, our sisters. There's no separating us. Things got to get fixed and put right back the way that the Lord said. We had a wonderful culture, and it's still here for us. We just got to get back to it. Neither the woman without the man in the Most High. That the Lord didn't come to drive a divide between us or to have a battle between us. The Lord came to put things back in their proper order. That's why Christ was sent, to teach us to unlearn all of these other cultures from these other nations of people that we thought was so great and wonderful, until we got to experience their life and they got rich and we starved to death. You understand? So now we're going to leave that and we're going to go to some more. We're going to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. All right. All right. We're going to Ecclesiasticus chapter 42. Oh, where do I want to start? Yeah, this is real. All right, this is good. I'm gonna start here. All right. Ecclesiasticus. This is very important. As a matter of fact, before I get here, I want to bind the strong man. So what? Bind the strong man. This is a very important scripture here. Matthew. I like Mark. Mark chapter 3 and verse 27 first, as we're talking about putting things back in order. Mark chapter 3 and verse 27, it says, no man enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. What is his good? His women, his wives, his children, and everything else they have. So he is good. Belong to someone. The goods, everything belongs to a man. You understand? That's how the Lord set up. That's why he gave so many rules about how to run and manage things. Otherwise, another nation of people will take all of his goods. You know who has the majority of our goods now? The company has the goods. The bank has all of our goods. The slavery has it. The school system has your goods. They get your goods for hours and hours, 10 hours a day. They get to put all of what they to your children. And you have to fight what they taught them when you get them back home. They get to put what they want into your woman, into your wives. They head with what they want them to believe in. And then when they get back to you, you got to try to navigate what the hell they've been telling to her for the last 10, 15 hours of the day. You understand? Like, that's why the Lord said no man can spoil his goods except he will first bind the strong, and then bind that man up and take his power, his resources, his authority, and then he or his house. Another man will rule over, and the house and wives and children, it will no longer have the authority. That is what America always sought to do. Every he sought to do this to us. All of them. All right. All right. So it's been done. As a matter of fact, I need to start at verse 8. Ecclesiasticus now, chapter 42 and verse 8. It says, be not ashamed. The Lord said, don't be ashamed of something. Why is he saying that? Because whatever the Lord is getting ready to bring out, they may try to shame you. They may try to shame you from standing on what the Lord said. May try to force you into believing something that is the opposite of what God said. That's why the Bible says first, the Lord is a man of war. You can't stand for the Most High if you a coward, if you scary, if you want to be friends with everybody, you can't stand for God. If you don't want to be hated for the name of the Lord, for his reputation, for saying what he says and living the way he lives, then you can't serve God. You too weak. You too soft. You too scary. That's why the Bible say the Lord is a man of war. You can't be no soft man and serve God. You can't be scary. You can't be trying to be everybody's friends. Don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You can't serve. The Lord don't give a damn. The Lord is something that make everybody kill everybody but 8 people. What good was that damn friendship to begin with? You could be friend, the Lord get ready to kill him. What the hell you trying to be their friend for? This is the patience and the faith of the saints. You got to really learn what serving the Lord is about. You know, cowards in here, we doing this for real. You understand? I pray you understand. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish. The Lord said, don't be ashamed to tell the unwise and the foolish and extreme aged. What does extreme age mean? The elderly. Don't be ashamed to tell them that's unwise and foolish, that are up in their ages. Don't be ashamed to tell them that this is what the Lord says and what we've been taught was wrong. Grandma mom supposed to eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. And we're not supposed to celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving. Don't be ashamed to inform the extreme age that God was never with these Thanksgiving dinners. God was never with these Christmas celebrations. And from now on, I am not going to be here. Not coming. All this is over. We're never going to be here for that again. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. But these things here, the Lord told us not to do. And if you're going to do them, then I'll see you next week. I'll see you the week before. You understand? Don't be ashamed. And the extreme age that contendeth with those that are young. They get on the street and start arguing with the young brothers, teenagers. The same teenagers they're complaining about in every other city that's shooting up the neighborhood and stabbing everybody and stealing cars in the Bible. Y'all give me a one if y'all can hear me. It looks like it's saying it's breaking up a little bit. They in the UPK. And you trying to argue with them, they breaking down scriptures. You trying to argue with them like they evil. Looks like everything is breaking up there. Saying is having trouble connecting. All right, I got 1-1. You can hear me clear. Let me get some more. Because it's jumping around a lot. It's breaking up. Okay, breaking up, but you can hear me. All right, the water sis. Right. All right. Well, we're gonna keep going. It said that contended with those that are young. There's a lot of things that our people have tried to do for many generations, and they were wrong. All of those old blackity black leaders that's been telling Africa, that's been telling us about Islam, that's been telling us about West Africa and Moors and the Moor Science Temple and 5%ers and Christianity and democracy and joining the government and going to the military, changing the system from within, voting those versus illegal. We are good modern Native Americans versus the old traditional ones that stuck in the past. All of those different ways, praying to the sky spirits and doing the rain dance and praying to the ancient ancestors and Santeria and voodoo and hoodoo and the tarot cards and all these practice lives or communities after generations. Lord said, don't be ashamed to tell the unwise and the foolish that they are wrong. The Lord said, don't be ashamed to tell them that. Because other brothers and sisters need to know that these things that we were taught were wrong and useless. Praying to a useless. Voting is useless if they're going to kill you at a traffic stop because you're black. All right. Y'all know I'm back up again. It's a lot of signal difficulty there. Very high internet traffic. So lucky y'all give me some ones. Let me know if y'all can see me back. Who passed away? All right. All right. It's still saying that I stopped. Y'all let me know when I come back. All right. Just let me know if I'm back. All right. I see a Zaraka. Okay. All right. She's seeing me. All right. Rise. Let me know. I'm getting one. Let me check on my seeing the error. All right. All right. What about now? Anything? I'm not hearing any sound on my end. What's going on? Y'all saying y'all hear me? All right. Okay, this should got to stop. All right, y'all saying y'all hear me? We good to go. All right. So this is what the Lord has been saying. All right, let's back. The Lord said, don't be ashamed to explain to them that these ways that we've learned, and thus thou shalt be truly learned and approved of all men living. You understand? The Lord gave us a wisdom that doesn't have anything to do with what age you are. The Lord invented numbers. He invented age. So these things don't change. My generation don't change because you 20 or you 40 and somebody else is 70 or 80. And 70 or 80-year-olds have been things wrong for generations. How everything messed up. Mark voted and did Martin Luther King rights, Donald Trump handling any piece of civil rights legacy. One president in less than 100 days has undid the Immigration Acts. He had bypassed Chris, your check line, let the system work from within. He done bypassed all of this. He's a felon. He got convictions. He still became president. They done tried to kill him twice. He done started a bunch of damn wars, everything. He ruining what was left of the economy. All of these things that our people thought you got to get out and vote. You got to get out and vote and let your vote heard. Well, you let your votes be heard, and you got out and voted. And now, guess what happened? You to put Trump in office. Congratulations, you've been heard now. There you go. You to let your votes be heard, and now look at what your votes got you. Oh, we voting for businesses because for businesses. All right, you get ready, get pulled over for a traffic stop and find yourself in an El Salvador prison, black man. You're gonna do a robbery and steal a car, being a Kia boy, and you're gonna end up in the prison with MS-13 in El Salvador as a black man because the extreme age thought that it was a good idea to tell us to go and vote following them stupid civil rights leaders. They thought it was a good idea so we could be more American. And look what happened. Just like the Lord said, don't let a heathen be among you. Don't let a heathen rise up above you. Don't put a heathen in charge of you. You were never supposed to vote. Even if you didn't vote, by default, the people that rule over you would be the Lord's people, would be the prophets of God, because that's who you've been trained to listen to your whole life, since the time you were a baby. You don't have to guess who you're supposed to listen to at this time, because it hasn't changed, or it doesn't change. You understand? So Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 42 and verse 9, this is how things were done the proper way. It says the father, dad, a father waketh for the daughter. A father stays awake for the daughter. You understand? The daughter able to get sleep and rest, but not the father. Not a father. He don't get sleep. You understand? You don't get all that good sleep and rest with authority. You lose a lot of that. You don't get that. That get forfeited. The Lord said this, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth. Nobody know that father is up. Why is that father up for his daughters? Because he understands the responsibility that's going to come with raising a woman. He knows all the dangers and traps and pitfalls that come as this little girl grows up as a budding, blossoming young lady, a young girl to grow up to become a woman. He understands all the dangers and responsibilities that come with having this little woman in his house. You understand? And the care for her, caring for her, taketh away sleep. He caring for this daughter taketh away sleep. Why? Why is the caring for this daughter taking away sleep? Because Sexy Red is telling her to bust it open. And Megan Thee Stallion is telling her to throw it back and twerk everywhere. And Usher is telling her to show her tail and her naked behind and all her goods to everybody at school and the internet and Facebook and all the pictures and the photos and be flirtatious and hoeing with everyone. That's what the culture says to do. So the father who does not want his goods to be spoiled awakes for his daughter when no man knoweth. Why does it say the father? Because unfortunately, you cannot always depend on mommy. You can depend on mommy to make these decisions. Why can you not depend on mommy? Because mommy is going to dress a little girl the way she would dress. And most of the time, that's not good. Because if you haven't taught your woman how to dress, then she'll dress the way the culture has taught her to dress by default. And by default, the culture does not teach our sisters how to dress in modest apparel. It teaches our sisters how to dress in see-through apparel. You understand? In tights apparel, in see-through apparel, showing off everything available to see is available to see at all times, anywhere in our community. That's why it says the father has to wake it for the daughter, because because mommy in many cases is going to try to dress the little girl up to be sexy the way she dressed sexy, and she don't know no better because she's not the one that the Lord put in charge. Daddy's going to have to veto the outfit. Daddy's going to have to decide that's too much. No, that's not going to work. No, you can't wear that. Nope. That's why you supposed to filter what you think through daddy. That's why the father is up. I got to change this. I got to examine this. What needs to be done? I got to foresee these problems. Who are your friends? Where are you going? Why does that little girl dress like a boy? Well, this is just my friend. Everybody don't dress the way I dress. Well, there's a reason that little girl dresses that way. Does she play basketball? How'd you know she played basketball, Daddy? Uh-huh. She played basketball a lot, huh? She like the WNBA playing. Yeah, they play basketball. Well, the WNBA is full of lesbians. That's why your friend dressed like a little man with the short haircut, like one of the boys on the basketball team. Yeah, you can't hang with her. Well, I don't see the big Rome. Why are you so critical of all her friends? She's a young little girl. Mommy don't see the danger. Mommy don't see the danger in most cases. God did not give mommy the ability to see the danger in most cases. That's why he put a man to be the head, because the man is supposed to be watching out for danger. He's supposed to be regulating. You understand? And it's a tough job. It can be. Depending on the team you got in the setup, it can be rough. Most of trying to raise the kids is navigating the mama getting in the way, trying to correct everybody. You understand? It says, when she is young, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep. When she is young, you got to do it when she's young. Why are you hugging everybody? Stop, you know, you don't need to be sitting in everybody's lap. Uncle, this is Uncle Johnny, and Uncle this, and Aunt Kim, and this is everybody. You don't need to sit in everybody's lap. No, you don't need to sit in everybody's lap. You're too old now. Everybody can't get a hug. You can't hug everybody. You can't sit in everybody's lap. You too big now. No, you can't do that no more. No. Everybody don't need to kiss the baby. No. Uh-uh. No, you can't. No, she can't spend the night at everybody's house. You can't stay at every cousin's house. You can't stay at every friend's house. You ain't available to go to everybody's house. Well, why can I never stay at anybody's house? Why can't it? Don't worry about it. I said no. You can't do it. You can't do it. You'll find out later on why you weren't allowed to go to all those damn slumber parties. You'll find out. Well, they going to know you can't go on the camping trip with them. Well, I don't. You don't never let me do anything. Why? You'll find out why. Right now is no. You see that? You see these friends you wanted to go to camping trip with? You see her now? Oh, Dad, she pregnant again. Uh-huh. That was the trip. That was the party. You know what? Remember so and so you told me, and I wanted to hang out with them, and then you wouldn't let me go? Yeah. Oh, you know them too? She said that's her girlfriend. I don't understand none of that. I'm glad you didn't let me. Yeah, that's what the sleepover party was. That's what it was about. Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't go. I don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. I understand. When she is young, least she pass away the flower of her age. The flower of her age, a flower, you think of a flower when it's blossoming, when it's just as coming, it's a little bud, and then it gets its petals, it gets its color, it starts to bloom, it starts to blossom, it starts to become a full, glorious, radiant flower. That's the way that the Lord looks at it. The flower of her age. You go from being a young little girl, little baby girl, and now she's growing up. She's becoming a woman. She's starting to develop. She's got a cycle now. She's growing into a body and shapely. And here come the boys and the girls. Here come everybody. And the dad is awake looking. Uh-huh. Who the hell is this? No, no, no. What the hell are you doing with my daughter? You got to take a look at this here. This is strange. No, nope. Nope. What is that? No, you can't be with them. What did you say? Yeah, I'm gonna join cheer. All right, who's in charge of the cheerleading squad? Nope. Them bull daggers on the cheerleading team. Nope. Uh-uh. Who's that man right there with the short cut, with the broad shoulder? Oh, that's Miss Smith. Miss Smith is the assistant coach for the cheerleaders. Nope. That's it. Go ahead, turn in your pom poms. You off the team. Damn, you don't never let me understand. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. You'll find out later. Don't worry about it. The scriptures say the care of her taketh away sleep when she is young. Why does it say when she's young? Because this is when all the bad habits and things is getting learned. Least she pass away the flower of her age when she young. You understand? Having sex with all the boys in the school and all the girls, all the experiment. About 20% of the new syphilis and chlamydia cases is teenagers, young teenagers, little kids. You understand? Permanent, life changing STDs. Forget about the AIDS and the LGBT and the alternative lifestyle and all the gender swapping and changing and the monkeypox and the syphilis and all the unwanted pregnancies and the abortions. This is why the Lord said, the care for her taketh away sleep. Don't let her pass the flower of her age. There's a point in time where this father has to be concerned. Okay, I'm going to need to find, you understand, these boys coming around. I can't let this woman stay here forever. There's coming a time where she's going to need to find a husband. She's not going to stay with me forever in most cases. I got to start finding who would be suitable to take over my responsibility and care for my daughter. Who's available, who's suitable, who's not a closeted alternative lifestyle man, who's suitable, who's not a goddamn dragon that's beating the hell out of everybody, full of behavioral disorders and all kind of problems that's going to beat my daughter half to death. I know she won't know the difference between the man that would get upset and punch her in the face and the man that will be able to control his frustration and not beat the hell out of her. She won't know that. How do I know she won't know? Go watch any Oprah movie, any Lifetime movie network, any woman's Black Men Ain't Nothing network, and they'll all tell you. I was in an abusive relationship. It started off fine, and such as no, you were always in the same abusive relationship, and you did not care that he was abusive because you liked his smile and his jewelry and his muscles and his car and the way he dressed and all of the silly superficial things that you thought was more important than his actual character because you are led by emotions and how you feel rather than the actual facts. That's why daddy is supposed to decide, not you. Most of the sisters on the internet that are complaining about all their relationship experiences come from men that they chose. They were not supposed to choose. They were supposed to have a father that was making sure that his daughter did not go off sneaking to the school ditch party, that she was not going off sneaking with the basketball and the football team, that she didn't learn the boo sneaky links culture that is the culture that is permeating through the walls, through the music, through the movies, through the internet as so-called black culture. So she don't end up meeting Diddy and see his Bentleys and see his money and see his Rolls Royce and see all of his movie career. And then you see her on TV getting uppercutted like Ken and Ryu down the damn hallway and getting the people's elbows stomped on her in a goddamn hotel because she found her own man. She found the one that made her feel this way and told her all these wonderful things. But then he get upset and elbow you in the side of your head. You weren't supposed to find the man. You couldn't tell he was going to punch you in the face. I could tell he was going to punch you in the face. You couldn't tell. Daddy knows better than you. Mommy didn't know. Why, I liked him. He dressed so nice. He always smelled good. He always had his hair done. You got the more rough UPK brothers with them rough ass beards, with them braids and them boots. You won't be with them. You want to get some old church man, some old human trafficking, sex trafficking church man to go to church every Sunday. That's the type of man you want. You can't be ashamed to tell the foolish and the unwise that their metric for deciding. That's why men of the Lord got to be in charge. You listening to old church ladies run their damn mouth. They done raised everybody. They done destroyed the community because they've been in charge. And the Lord did not set it up this way. That's why it said the care for that daughter takes away sleep from that father. Lest she pass away the flower of her age. And being married, least she be hated. Sex is marriage according to the Bible. You got to be the care of this daughter to make sure that you don't raise a monster. And right now, unfortunately, that's what many sisters are raising by themselves. A little monster just like her. She don't know how to talk to nobody. She yelling and cussing at her kids. She beating the hell out of the babies. She making her daughter feel like a piece of garbage because she got a better figure and you didn't had kids and you old and this daughter is young and you making her feel ashamed and you're beating her and you're letting her damn your boyfriends molest her and your son and you're destroying your kids. You're calling them names, you're hitting them, you're turning them into violent, abusive criminals because you don't know how to talk to anybody. Nobody happy to see you. People supposed to sit there and listen to you. No one can stand you. Everybody sad. Nobody happy to see you. People supposed to say, Shalom, sis, how you doing? Shalom. Oh my God. What y'all doing in here? Where everybody at? Ain't nobody gonna speak to me. Won't need nobody to speak. I don't need nobody. Nobody tell me nothing. Like, damn, you're raising everybody's blood pressure. You're turning everybody's hair gray. Like, you're terrible to be around. And nobody's standing to be around you. That's why your kids in the street at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because they don't want to be in the house with you. You're not supposed, the father got to make sure that mommy does not enable a dragon. And that's what will happen. How is the father going to do that? The father got to deal with that mother. And Christianity teaches that a man is supposed to allow a woman to run a muck. She's supposed to say whatever she want, go wherever she want, dress however she want, decide whatever she want. That's the opposite of what God said. That got to be corrected in our culture. You will never stop all the shootings and robberies and crimes as long as the woman is in charge of the family. You understand? This is what God said. It might be a bit of medicine, but it damn sure worked. She don't know what she doing. The Lord said this. Now we're going to read verse 10. Why does it say the father waketh for that daughter when no man knoweth? What is that father concerned about? The Lord getting ready to break the rest of it down in verse 10. In her virginity, the virginity is talking about your young years as a woman. The years when you now period of time that get her damn cycle, and because she now bleeds once a month, you decide you want to go have sex with a baby, like Jesus and like the goddamn Roman Catholic Church or the Muslims or the child brides of Lebanon or the Prophet Muhammad. Because Aisha was 9 years old, well, I'm gonna wait till 12 before I married her. Goddamn child abusers. You understand? So that's with her in her virginity. Least she should be defiled. How's she gonna be defiled in her virginity? Because she's not supposed to be having sex, but she is, and gotten with child in her father's house. She's gonna end up with a child. You aren't supposed to have a child in your father's house because a child means you're married and you have sex. And sex makes you a wife and a mother and makes you pregnant. But you're not supposed to still be in your father's house because you have sex. because your father was supposed to give you away to another man, which is who you're supposed to have your children with to make a family, not Alston party or the school skip party or the oh my God or sitting at social service. Well, who's the father? Well, it could be, well, it might be, well, I'm not sure. You're not supposed to do that. How does that happen? Is it magic? Did the Holy Spirit overshadow you and suddenly you were found with child like the Roman Catholic Church teaches? No. The father waiting for the daughter to make sure the daughter ain't out having sex, end up getting pregnant and raising kids as a kid herself. And then, of course, things don't work out. Now you're raising kids by yourself, like most sisters. Now the majority of our children raised up by a single mother. Why? Because you can't steal a man's goods unless you remove his authority. Ain't no father waking to make sure that this don't happen. He got to be on watch in the Bible to make sure that the culture doesn't happen. This is literally the culture right here. And the Bible is saying that a happening. A young teenage mom or a young mother or a mother, period, in the time when she's supposed to be married, she had the relationship that fell apart. She don't have a marriage. There wasn't any marriage plan. There was sex planned, but there wasn't a marriage plan. There was no plan for raising children. Where did this baby come from? Damn, there's a baby now. We weren't planning on having a baby. You didn't know sex made babies? After all of these generations, nobody knows sex makes babies. It's the shock of every Black and Latino's lives that after having sex 20 million times, somebody ends up pregnant. Damn, who knew this would happen? That's Christianity. That's Christianity. Oh, you know what? I don't think we're ready for this. Well, sex is how you request. That's how you start a family. It's permanent according to God. It's marriage according to the culture the Lord gave us. You think it's not. Well, here's a person. You see, whether you believe it or not, here's the facts. Here's the proof. There's a baby. Now you're trying to figure out how to kill the baby. You try to tear the family apart so you can take the baby's life. The Lord getting ready to bring another person in because now you got a marriage. Well, I don't want to do it no more. Well, this ain't gonna work. We just agree to go our separate ways. Don't worry about it. Nah, that destabilized the whole community. That's where we at now. That's the culture now. This culture is against God. That's why this got to be corrected. It says in her virginity, in her young marriageable years. That's why everybody on the internet now. They're on the internet, on all the shows. Go look up a couple of shows. The red pill conversation, the talk, the pop the balloon challenge. Well, how long? How many kids you got? Well, what happened with you and your baby? Dad? Well, we didn't see eye to eye. This didn't work out, and this, and wasn't ready to have a family, and this was what I was. That's why the father got to come to make sure that things get set the correct way. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth. The most important thing in your child's life is that father. That's important. And it's a tragedy if there is no father. They got to so that things can be put in their proper order before everything fall apart. The Lord got a provision to handle all to where the Lord is, and it's not in the Christian church. This has to be corrected. It says, in her virginity, least she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. Meaning she's still a part of her father's house, but she done already started a family with this other man, and now she got his kids. and having an husband, she has a husband because she's pregnant, but she's still in her father's house. Something went wrong. A step got skipped. It says, lest she be found, lest she should be defiled. She's supposed to get married and have children with her husband, but now she defiled in her young years because she's gotten with child, but she's still in her father's house. She's supposed to be in her husband's house. A step then been skipped. And having a husband, she got a husband, least she should misbehave herself. This is misbehavior, what the Lord said. And when she is married, least she should be barren. She might not be able to have kids when it's time for her to be married. Because she done went and had this kid now. She may have had kids with others too, and now she may damage something. And now it's time for her to get married and have a family with her husband. She already got kids. She already that's been broken off from another man. That's why in the New Testament it says, it says, I will eat my own bread in Isaiah. I have my own clothes. I'm standing my own too. But let me be called by name. Some women shall take hold of one man and say, let me fall under your authority to take away my reproach, my shame for having all of this kids and family and living a life as a woman with no man, with no husband, with no head, with no covering. Take away my shame, the shameful thing. That's what's in the Bible. That's what the Lord. You understand? After the Lord destroys America and we go in the wilderness, you're not getting your own home. You're not going this the cities for all the single women. You don't get your own home. You don't own your own land. The Lord didn't give land and property and resources to be passed down to the daughter, to the woman. You belong in your father's house or your husband's house. You don't get the house. You don't get the land. You don't get the wealth. You don't get the settlement of all the children and everything. That was our society falling apart. You understand? That's backwards. This evil society has taught a terrible lesson to our people that is very destructive, that must be corrected. These are ungodly situations that we've been put into as a people, so much out of order. It says the salvation is going to be such a strange thing when Christ comes. It ain't going to make sense. Not only the fact that Christ is a black man, but the culture that we've been taught to live in needs so much correcting. You understand? This is what the Lord said. In her virginity, in her young years, and when she is married, at least she should be barren, because she spent her young years in her father's house making children when she was supposed to be in her husband's house making a family with him, and now she old and barren and can't make no kids with this husband if he want children, which is the natural of a marriage. You're not supposed to be old unless you are a widow, which is a tragedy in our society, and the Lord got provisions for. You understand? This is how the culture needs to be reshifted to way that the Lord set things up. Because there's a ton of confusion. And this leads our people to tons of places where we should not be. Verse 11 says, keep a sure watch. Ain't nobody watching right now. Verse 11 says, keep a sure watch. Continue to watch over a shameless daughter. You understand? A daughter who want to put her tail in the front of all the pictures. It's time to take a picture. She gonna turn around so she can look back at the pictures. So her behind is in front of all the pictures. She learned that from her mama. If you're not willing to correct the mama, then you should not be making daughters with that mother. If you can't control her, I mean, how the hell you gonna try to raise up a daughter? You're gonna be in a battle about everything. You understand? It says, keep sure watch over a shameless daughter. She don't have a shame about what she say out of her mouth. What she gonna do to and with who? How she carries herself, how she dresses. She dressed one way, got another outfit in her book bag. So when that she wants watch over a shameless daughter. How does she talk? What does she say? How does she behave when that music cut on? You understand? The Lord said you got to watch because otherwise you'll be watching a video of the little kid's birthday party and all the sisters is on the fence twerking at the 4-year-old birthday party. The little boy trying to stop them from doing it, and it's his little kid birthday party, and it's 10 women on the damn fence grinding on the fence like they working for tips. You understand? Least she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and that's what we become to our enemies. All the other nations and people laughing at us, and a byword in the city. That's where all these names come. A 304, a hot girl, a thought, a city girl, a tramp, a floozy, a skeezer, a hussy, a hoochie. All these names come from a byword in the city. Yo, yeah, we know her. Everybody know her. Who? You about to who? What? Third Street Maria? Oh, oh, come on now. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. You do. Oh, come on, man. Don't do that now. I love her. I'm gonna marry her. Man, listen, be cheating on me. Yeah, she cheating on you. Why you be say, damn man, look at him, look at him. He gonna take out the man. Come on now, don't do that. Everybody laughing at you. Look at. There you go, there you go. That's hey, that's your woman. That's your woman. Yeah, y'all know her. Do we know her? Are you kidding me? Everybody know her. All right, man, go on, man, leave her alone. The whole damn city laughing at you because everybody done had sex with her. From the time she about 15 to 40, everybody done been with her. The whole damn zip code. That's why she on the internet talking about men do this and men do that, and I haven't met the right men. You're not supposed to try all the goddamn men. You're not supposed to get a ride on every ride in the goddamn theme park. You understand? You're not supposed to be getting passed around to everybody. And then you get on the internet and you say it so everybody know you've been hoeing. My last relationship and this relationship and that one and this one and that one and this one and this one and now I'm just ready to work on me for me and do what's best for me and feel good for myself and I need a man with $400,000 a year to take care of me and all my and before you know it you done shamed yourself and you also shamed because of your behavior. That's why we read that in First Corinthians the 11th chapter. You understand? The head is the man. Christ gets shamed. That's why nobody respects Christ because the behavior is shameful of the men that's supposed to follow Christ. That's why we change in the culture. The man gets shamed because of how the woman behaves. The woman, the mother gets shamed because of how the children behave. That's why they say, what would your mother think? What would your mother say? What would your mother say? What did your mother teach them? Where's your mother? Why that baby don't have no hat on his head? Where's your mama? Why your nose running like that? Because instinctively, everyone knows this is mom's responsibility. Why you out here asking like this? Why that little girl hair ain't done? And mama got to get on her job. Where's your lunch? Your mama ain't made you no lunch. Your mama ain't washed your clothes. Your mama ain't get you no new book bag. Your mama know you outgrew them clothes. It's instinctively why head of the woman is the man. And when you look at the kids, you're gonna look to say, well, this is mom's responsibility. And then the mom look to the man and say, hey, this is what I did. Is this right? And the man is supposed to be looking, no, this ain't right, that ain't right. Let's do this here. Let's make sure this get done. Where is she going with this? Hey, come here. Let me check your book bag. No, you go ahead and get in the car. You fine. Let me check your book bag. Why you want to see my book bag, Daddy? Give me your book bag, girl. What's in the book bag? There's a whole nother outfit in this damn book bag. You was gonna go to school and change your clothes, wasn't you? Take these clothes out of here. Go back and get in the car. Do not go to school and change your clothes again. You bought her these damn clothes, and I tell you not to buy these clothes. Why the hell you bought this? I just think she need to come into her body and be comfortable in herself and all of this. Yeah, everybody else gonna get comfortable in her body too. You simple. Mama don't know no better. In many cases, there's plenty of there's mamas that's got good sense and good wisdom, but there's plenty that wisdom of the Lord. That's why all of our people have to come into the truth so that they can be a part of correcting our culture the same way that you brothers and sisters. All right, so we're gonna have to pick up where we got. We're gonna finish this here as we went up here. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. That's what it says here. You aren't supposed to be carrying yourself shameful. Glorilla is shameful to her father. That sister was running around in a goddamn bra until she bought herself some breasts. She was shameful to her father. Shameful. You understand? Waving her box in the damn camera, singing about her camel toe. She's shameful. Now, how is anybody supposed to respect that father? How would any man respect Megan Thee Stallion's father? How is that possible? Megan Thee Stallion is known for rapping and her tail. That's it. That's it. How is anybody supposed to respect her father after that? Oh, you Megan Thee Stallion daddy, huh? Well, you sure raised a nice, wonderful, respectful daughter, didn't you? They can't say that about Cardi B. They can't say that about Megan Thee Stallion. They can't say that about Glorilla. Like this is what the culture need to be corrected to get back to. This is important. So we're gonna go ahead and end it there. We at the Israelite School, the Universal Practical Knowledge. We start at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem. You understand? If you're not in the UPK, you're not in the truth. Rule for brother and sister. When a brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. After this 6-month period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they're to get counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. Once that's approved, after that 6-month period, a brother or sister would get permission to court. After this, a brother or sister would get permission for any increase the Most High gives to you. You go right to ISUPK.com, you pay it to the school. You understand? They'll send your receipt right to your email. All right, upcoming high holy days. We got the Feast of First Fruits is coming up. You will be notified. It should be in June. All right. And lastly, if any brother wants to be a troop in the school, it'll be an all black boot, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Contact the ISUPK school in any city or state that you're in. All of our school numbers and locations are publicly listed. You can search for them just like you search for anything else on Google. On most social media outlets and platforms has all of our different ISUPK information and contacts. All right. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatham. To the sisters. Yahweh Shemar Alathan by Shem Yahweh Shah. Tune in right here every Friday live. And Officer Yagadar new series, sad hard lessons. They always get away. What's beef? Right here, taught by yours truly on the ISUPK Virginia and the ISUPK Richmond channels on YouTube.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're
I guess I should ride with Lex.
They talk about man. Oh, no. Yeah, it's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run when you gone, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to wrong, right? Get another legacy.
If you gotta do the shit, when I do it carefully. You can lose everything you own over jealousy. When I met her, I ain't never sweat her, I just let her breathe. See you down, keep my foot on you, that's not my pedigree. At your throat, I done took her oath, I pray I never leave. I'm a different guy, you're surprised, tucked in my sleeve. Boy, you fucking stupid, sold your seat for some bloody beef. True nation, cut the conversation, better keep it brief.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to run when you gone, it's your destiny. You gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy.
It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It's about time, send them curses to them enemies. You can try to run where you going, this your destiny. Fusion gotta fall, never rise, that's the melody. What you get to witness, the beginning of a legacy. It ain't that they don't wanna know, we tell them, they just won't believe. It's about the journey, I ain't worried, moving at my speed. Saying we ain't much to be desired, gotta disagree. Scarring one of mine, then we spinning like rotisserie. Go against the odds, I'm ready, this another victory. Cut different, niggas moving foul, where the referee. Moving like the military, something they ain't never seen. One West world for the people, this is what they need.
It's about time, so no curses to our enemies. You can try to
beaten to death. Correction officer.